Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? It is Talk with Me 10 time. Oh my gosh, and I am absolutely excited to be here with you guys on today. Before we get into everything that we need to do, of course, I need to introduce myself. If this is the first time you've ever hung out with me on Fridays, which is our live time, so my name is Tangeray Porter, and I am the Chief Vision Strategist with Cultivated Connections Design and Consulting. I help arts educators develop and create culturally inclusive arts curricula, as well as support general educators with liberating their Gen Ed curriculum with arts integration pedagogy. So if you need help with any of those two, I am happy to help either one of you guys, whether it's arts educators or gen ed educators. So happy to help and serve everyone. So before we move forward, make sure you take a moment to share, like, subscribe if you're on YouTube. To our social media not challenges, channels. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to our channels, which is cultivated.connections. That is the same thing across all social media platforms, with the exception of YouTube, just because we're waiting to get 100 followers so that we can change our URL. So make sure you share, so that we can, beef up those viewers or subscribers on YouTube. And I have so much fun and beautiful things in store for you guys. Okay, so if you see me looking around, I am looking up at my camera screen, just because I am doing the live there, and I'm also looking down a little bit at my phone screen, just because we know Instagram does not do the things that it needs to do in regards to sharing all over the place. So you may see my eyes look up and look around. That's just because I am maneuvering between several different devices right now. Okay. So, without further ado, let me, we always start with gratitude. We always start with gratitude. I first and foremost have to thank every participant that registered for our webinar, or even if you didn't get a chance to attend the webinar, you had a jolly good time with me on Tuesday, and you watched the replay if you had a chance to. It was fun, you guys. It was so much fun to be amongst other educators, other homeschool parents, dance educators, college professors. Like, it was a array of people inside of our session on this Tuesday. And if you had the chance to come, I thank you for joining us. I thank you for moving and exploring with us. It was a joy. And I can't wait to do it again. So make sure you guys are on our Creatives Colony newsletter so that you'll know the next time that we are doing another webinar or activity or event or what have you. That way you'll know, okay? So make sure you're on that newsletter. The link is in the bio, so go ahead and do that. Also, I will be producing different products and different tips and different strategies that you can use in your respective places immediately, okay? So I love sharing the wealth, so make sure you guys are on our newsletter and also following all of our multiple pages, okay? We are also on LinkedIn. And I always like to just give out an extended hand of different ways that you can work with me. So if you are unsure about how you can work with me, you just want to chat, really fine. Let's set up a coffee, tea, soda, whatever beverage that it is that you drink. Let's set up one, and we can definitely just chat, just get to know one another better, connect, share thoughts, ideas, all those different things. So definitely hit the link in bio to set up a coffee chat with me. And I would love to, like, just hang out. Also, if you are not able to meet with me during the coffee chat time that's scheduled in my calendar, just send me an email or a DM and we can, configure some things if we need to, okay? Most of my coffee chat days are on Thursdays, just because that's most flexible in my schedule. However, I am open to being extremely flexible to you guys if we need to maneuver a little bit, okay? Awesome. So another way that you can also work with me is through our Power Hour coaching session. And along with other goodies, like during that session, we will strategize some things to help get you guys in order, whether it's something in regards to your curriculum, something in regards to monetizing your expertise, whatever it is, we can figure it out. And you will get like an action plan and a strategy plan and all these other beautiful goodies. So if that's something that you think that you will need, also hit the link in the bio. The link is there as well to get into it. All right. Also, stay tuned for our coaching program coming up next January or winter. We're gonna say winter, but we're shooting for January. Okay, so stay tuned to those details. Also, again, newsletter. Feel free to watch the replay, and if you're watching the replay, make sure you hashtag that replay. Put hashtag replay in the chat so I know that you was hanging out, even though you weren't able to join us live. Totally fine. We all have lives, okay? And make sure you click the live reminder schedule after this live. Okay. Unsure what our topic is going to be for next year. So, not next year, next week. So, if you have an idea, jot something down in the comments and we can play around with it. I've been thinking, like, what are we going to talk about next week? And we'll figure it out. But we're going to get into it. We're going to jump right into it. I don't want to keep you guys on here too long today. Our topic for today is how arts can support diverse learners. Okay, so that's our topic for today. And before I keep going, you might see some cowboy paraphernalia in the back. I'm not a Cowboys fan, sorry. I am in my parents' house, and my father is a huge Cowboy fan. So you will see that in the background. So sorry, you guys, not a Cowboys fan. But moving forward, so yes, today's topic is how arts can support diverse learners. And we are here to chat about how we can use the arts as a tool to support all learners. Okay. Yeah, that's basically what we're doing. Just, really thinking about how can the arts be used as a tool to support all learners, not learners that are deemed as quote unquote normal. I hate that word. Oh my gosh, I hate that word. So let's get into it. I know when I first started teaching, I was like, what is a diverse learner? What is considered as a diverse learner? And during my, time, I realized during my time as a teacher, educator, I realized a diverse learner is just simply that somebody that learns and they have various backgrounds. But I decided to, Google what does the world see as diverse learners. And this is what I came up with. So, what are diverse learners? Diverse learners encompasses many characteristics like ethnicity, socioeconomic background, home language, so I'm thinking ELL, gender, special needs, disabilities, and giftedness. So again, everybody. We're gonna keep moving forward. But like I was like not wrong in my thinking, right? Everybody's a diverse learner. We learn different, whether it's because of our cultural background. We learn different because whether we speak a different language. We also know, I always think about men are from Mars and women are from Venus, like that whole, I remember that book, that as we as certain genders or how we're built on the inside, it also plays a part into how we process information. Okay, and I'm not going to go down that tangent of gender and how that may or may not affect how we think and process information, but that does play a part of just like how our brains are wired naturally, biologically. Special needs, we also know that diverse learners are considered as scholars who may or may not receive special education services. We also know that giftedness is another form of a diverse learner, right? We have to, I don't think we do a good job in the American school systems with, creating a safe space for all learners, okay? But let's dig into it. Today, I'm really going to focus on how The arts support diverse learners in regards to English language learners and scholars who receive special education support. Okay. You will notice that I am intentional about not saying scholars who are special ed. No, I cannot stand when people do that. I'm always conscious and always educating others about our verbiage. Like, we have to be really conscious about that. Okay, so English language learners or people who, individuals who are learning how to speak English, or English is not their first language. It's also our special scholars who receive special education services are, considered as diverse learners, and that also includes scholars who receive gifted accommodations. Okay. So I'm gonna read what I have on my notes real quick, just to make sure that I'm telling you exactly how I wrote it out. If you know me, I'll tend to go on a tangent, and I'm not trying to keep you out here all day. As I go down my tangents, Tan and her tangents. That ought to be a segment, right? But in the comments, if you could tell me, like, if you are educated currently, what do you consider as diverse learners, and how do you support them, whether it's with the arts or something else? What do you consider as diverse learners? Is they in line with what I mentioned, and how do you support them in your classrooms or respective spaces? Okay. So English language learners, there are students who oftentimes are struggling with language and communication if English is not their first language. I think about back in the day, not that back in the day was that far ago, but back in my junior high years, I remember we had an ESL class, and it was so amazing just to see, like, my classmates learn new words and just grow in regards to learning English. It was amazing to see where they started from, and then by the end of the school year, to see how well their communication skills became, how much more confident they became in regards to speaking English. That was amazing. Then all of a sudden, the ESL classes start to go away, and I did not understand it, did not know why. So if you guys want to add any insight to that, as I will be honest, I have not done my due diligence in, like, learning what happened there. So Dana, if you're watching, I know you are a ESL expert, you guys. So make sure you guys are contacting Dana with Upriver Education. Amazing expert in supporting diverse or English language learners. Amazing, you guys. So I would love to know more history about that, and that transition where when ESL was here and now it's not. Was it what happened with that, and why? And I will also do my own research there too. But let's keep going. We know that even for scholars who are of the dominant culture or the dominant language, we struggle with our own identity and our own navigating through our own culture, right? But I can only imagine how hard it is for a scholar who has not grew up in a world of English speaking, and are being forced to speak this language, and how it affects your identity, your way of life. Again, I love English language learners because it's amazing that you are fluent in two languages most of the time by the time you are two. you know I think it's just absolutely amazing. I have a younger cousin whose mom is Black and dad is Hispanic, and it's just absolutely amazing to see him speak two languages fluently. It's been so amazing. So continuing, moving forward, a great way to support these transitions academically and emotionally is just to integrate the arts and creativity. We need to do that for all learners, but especially being more intentional about doing it with learners who are diverse learners. So again, that can be our English language learners, that can be our special ed learners, or not special ed learners who receive special education services, or scholars who are just simply struggling. Okay. Using arts and creativity allows us to tap into something totally different, and allows us to see how they produce information. Again, myself included, if you go back and watch my arts integration story a couple weeks back, you will get a chance to see how, even as a scholar who is not considered as a diverse learner in regards to like learning a different language or receiving special ed services, I still struggled. And because of those moments where the arts took a place of my life, or creativity, I was able to produce and felt confident in what I was producing and, in my learning. Okay. So it's not just for scholars who are diverse or have diverse learning capabilities, is for everybody. Which brings me to my first point of why arts integration is essential for diverse learners. Arts is a universal language. So I know you guys have heard that a lot. But arts is a universal language, right? We develop receptive language quicker than expressive language. Arts integration or creative projects require less language production, okay? And gives diverse learners the opportunity to actually show what they know. Again, projects. I think about, what's that, project-based learning. Why aren't we using it more? Not to say no one is using it, but why aren't we using it more? Again, not just for scholars who are diverse learners, but for everybody. It gives everybody the opportunity to show, not just write about it, not just verbalize it or speak about it orally. You get to physically show what you know. So arts is a universal language. The other piece, which is one of the main reasons why I created Cultivated Connections, is arts expresses culture. You guys, I love the arts mainly for this reason. There's no reason why we're not using the arts to teach history. There's no reason why we're not using the arts to teach culture. There's no reason why we're not using the arts to teach geography. No reason. No reason at all. So when I think about like my English language learners, I'm quite sure that most of them feel pressure to like assimilate the dominant culture around them, of course, because that's the dominant culture around them. Even as a Black woman, I used to feel, or Black girl rather, I used to feel compelled to do the things that I saw that was around me, speak a certain way, this and the other. Nah, no more. I no longer believe in code switching. I believe in professionalism, but no longer believe in code switching. So I can only imagine how hard it is to balance being truthful to your traditions, your cultural background, and honoring that, and not, I've heard even my own students feel shame about speaking their native tongue in front of people who don't speak that language. And it was heartbreaking. One of my previous sixth graders, it was heartbreaking to hear her say that, because I'm like, wait, you should be so proud. But are we giving students the ability to showcase their culture, their traditions, those things? Are we doing that? Are we creating those spaces for them? And if we be honest, most schools are not. Most schools are not allowing that space for students to showcase their heritage, showcase their traditions, things like that. And if you guys hear my dog in the background, he is trying to get in the door. So do not mind Pharaoh. He is trying to get in the door and I won't let him in. So the arts allow students to show up. Oh my gosh, to show up as themselves without shame. If, and I got to put this on the teachers, if it's facilitated correctly. Okay. And, we're going to speak more about creating culturally inclusive arts curricular soon, as well as creating a space in your gen education classroom with the arts to support traditions and culture. It's a way that you can do everything, but it has to be facilitated correctly, because even though you're creating the space, you also can be in your own way biased, right? Condemning. Okay, but again, we're going to talk about that at a later time. Because that was a little heavy, and it's gonna take a little like checking your spirits. You're gonna have to check your spirit, baby. Um, along with culture, art experiments with identity. The arts provides avenues for reflection and experimentation. Again, if done correctly, you have to create a safe space for your children, your students, your kiddos at home, if you're doing this at home, to explore and explore freely without feeling condemned or shame or what have you. So the arts, experience with identity, it allows reflection, it allows experimentation, it allows a person to try on respectfully, if taught, um, different personas, like acting. Acting is so much fun because you can try on a different personality for the day. As you guys know, I love using the arts for drama and literacy. I love it. Let me rephrase that. I love using drama to talk about history and literacy, but again, it has to be done correctly and, excuse me, hiccups, and respectfully. It has to be done correctly and respectfully. So, again, when you're thinking about trying those different ideas and personalities and characters, just make sure we're teaching scholars to be respectful about whatever culture that we are exploring, okay? Because it can be done successfully, but we don't want to offend and we don't want to appropriate. Again, that's another conversation that we're going to have at a later time. You can teach, you can learn, but we are not in the business of offending and appropriating. Okay? So arts are inclusive. Arts are inclusive. And we know that, right? Anybody can dance, anybody can draw, anybody can sing, anybody can act, anybody can do all of these things, right? So we have to remember that we can also use those strategies in the school building, in our classrooms, in our homes. So arts are inclusive. Children use the arts to process, well, take that back. Children can use the arts in the process of creating to communicate information about themselves and the world. The arts help express emotion in inappropriate ways. Arts support independence. The arts exercise children's capacity for decision making and problem solving, which prepares children with disabilities to be active and independent of others. So again, I've done this in my own classroom where I have used active. I've allowed scholars to use. Hey, Pharaoh. It's okay. He can stay. Hey. Well, I've asked scholars to use, their arts integration strategies like tableaus to be independent and active and all those different things with their peers. Okay. And my last point of the day, the arts are flexible. The flexibility of art forms allows students multiple ways to access content and provides teachers with opportunities to meet unique needs of their students. So that whether that's drawing, like I mentioned in my live 2 weeks ago, whether that is, acting out what they see in the book, things like that, just to make meaning. So the arts are flexible to make meaning. But you guys, that is all I have today. I kept it short, kept it light today, just because we have a lot of things in our schedule to do personally, and I did not want to keep you guys on here long. If you guys have any questions, please make sure you either send me an email or DM me. All right, I look forward to talking to you later. Bye-bye.